Now, this actually jumped up from number 5, and that's security misconfiguration. So a lot of the other OWASP top 10 are looking at issues in your actual application, something that may be introduced by coding issues in when you're building out your app. This is more looking at the infrastructure that your application sits on top of. So more and more common today, cloud infrastructure, for example. So there's a couple of really big ones in this. Number one would be having your storage or data storage public when it shouldn't be. So the most easy one to talk about this is public Amazon Simple Storage or S3 buckets. So these are kind of data storage devices that you can put out there. Now, typically they're meant to be private or they are private. Sometimes you may want a public data bucket, but if you don't specify that this should be private, then it often will end up being public. And if someone is able to access that, then they can just access all the data. There's endless breaches that have been caused because of public S3 buckets. Another big one is that when you deploy your infrastructure, it may come with a sample application, right, to help you understand how to deploy something. Now, often these have known vulnerabilities in them because they're meant to be just, a sample. It's not really a big deal, unless, of course, you leave that sample application there. And if that vulnerability actually allows an attacker to exploit that sample application and get to your cloud layer, your infrastructure layer, then they can do all kinds of nasty things. So what tools do we have to kind of identify security misconfigurations? Well, there's two main ones, IAC scanning and CSPM. Lots of acronyms in security. IAC stands for infrastructure as code, and the scanning is basically tools that we use to analyze our infrastructure as code files to identify if we've made any mistakes, like we've made data public or we haven't used the right cryptography. It's very similar to SAST, but for our infrastructure. The other area is CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management, and this is actually looking at your assets in your cloud. I've made videos of both of these tools if you really want to get into it, but basically CSPM is looking at your infrastructure as it is live, and infrastructure as code scanning will be able to detect it before it goes live. But you need both.